until the next day when you start watching the media. But man, those guys in the streets were fired up, hanging out the windows, flags flying everywhere. It was so
I'm
cool to
gonna see
see.
if I'm gonna see if I can pull up that video
Hmm.
that you sent me.
Yeah, you should see if you can get that to
Let
throw up
me
there
let
because
me
it's
see here.
super
I
cool.
think if I just go here, there's you.
I've got quite the shadow going on here. The
You do,
light,
yeah, you do. You need
the
some
light is kind of
front
behind
lights.
me.
Okay, here it is. So if I long click on that, no, just regular click on it. I don't know how I can get this thing. Boy, it seems like before. Oh, here we go. All right, I'm gonna email it to myself. Well,
Did
I
it
thought I
come
was going
through
to.
in a decent quality?
Yeah.
Perfect. While you're pulling that up, I am drinking Ben Holiday soft
Oh yeah.
whiskey, bottled in
Oh,
bond.
okay.
So similar to what
I
you've got.
I am out. Yeah, so I just killed this one, which is bottle number. Mm, Dan says pretty soon. Uh, well, this doesn't have the bottle number on it, but this is the first bottling.
Right.
Spring 2016 is when it was distilled, and it was bottled in 2022. So this is when we went. You were somewhere. Can't remember where you were, but
Uh,
me and your wife went and stood in line
yeah, I don't remember where I was.
and got these things
I still
on
have,
the first day of the release. So there's Kyle's
I have, because
signature on there.
Anna got Kyle to sign one for me, and I still have that
Yeah,
one sitting around somewhere.
yeah. So I just knocked that one off because it's 2 years old and it only had a swig left in the bottom of it. And then I grabbed this one here. It's a one barrel
Oh yeah,
from Lucas.
that's a good one.
So figured I'd stick with Ben Holiday tonight.
Yeah, I even I know you're drinking out of a beer glass, but I have the Ben or the Holiday Distillery
Oh
tumbler.
yeah. I had one of those sitting here, but I just took it into the kitchen and put it in the sink because it's been sitting on my desk getting dusty.
Mm,
And this is new, so I wanted
that's
to
pretty cool.
use it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, all right, let me see if I can get that video pulled up because, or maybe I'll just get it kind of ready, and when Dan gets around here, I'll play
Oh
the
yeah,
video.
he'll
But
want to see that.
yeah,
Yeah, well, San Juan, Puerto Rico, it's a pretty cool spot. I feel like I'd like to go back there and do a little exploring in that little town. A lot of fun stuff to see and do there. It's real hot there though. I was real sweaty.
hmm.
That that deodorant
Well,
that Rory gave me did not work down
it
there.
it didn't cut it, huh?
Mm-mm. No. I didn't try putting it over my entire body though. So
You didn't?
maybe if I would have, that would have helped things.
Okay. I got that video to load on the laptop, so I'll be able to throw it up here on the screen here before too long. But anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, you said you got a birthday coming up
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, I got a birthday coming up tomorrow. I'll be 46,
46.
jumping in front of you.
Yep.
So today, well, my driver's license expires tomorrow.
Yep.
So I
Mine expired about 5 months ago.
that's perfect. Um, so I went to the license bureau today
Hmm.
to get my driver's license renewed, and my old license was
Mm.
not a real
Won the
ID.
real ID.
So I grabbed the proper documentation to get the real ID, and I
Yep.
drive to the license office, and there were hundreds of people there.
Mm.
And I was like, that's not good. So I went online because I know some of those places you can do like online appointments.
Yep.
So I was like, I'll go online to see if I can find an appointment. Well, it pops up on the screen and it says that the state of Missouri is changing their driver's license format, and
Really.
the webs or the renewal or anything to do with driver's license will not be available. I forget the dates, but it's like October 26th through November 11th. And so November 12th is the first day they're reopened and operating on a new system.
Mm.
So lucky me, hit that day just perfect.
Yeah.
So I had things to do, so I decided I'd just not wait in that line and figure out another day and time to do it because that's dumb.
Yeah.
So my driver's license is still valid, unlike yours, but only through tomorrow.
Isabel has so apparently whenever Anna reminded me that it was expired, Evabel heard, and so now she's nervous about it. She's
Evabelle's
nervous.
nervous that you don't have a driver's license.
Yes, most of the time when we jump in the truck and go somewhere, she's like, "So is this illegal right now? Are you breaking the law right now?" Like, yeah,
Yeah, you know who
but
else? I just
what do you think? What in your mind do you think might happen if like something happens? Because it's probably not what you're
yeah,
thinking.
I I think I'm gonna try to figure out a way, and I shouldn't tell you this because the element of surprise would be great for you.
Yeah.
Figure out a way for one of my police officer friends to pull you over while she's in the car and cuff you up
For having an expired
for having
license.
an expired driver's license. That might
Oh man,
traumatize her for the rest of her life,
she'd be
though.
crying. Oh yeah.
Um, there's one other person I know who I just spoke with recently, and he told me his driver's license has been expired for like 6 months. His name is Josh.
Me and Josh,
Yep.
peas in a pod.
Yep.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
Old Josh is having a rough time right now.
Is he?
Hmm.
Uh, Bummer.
Yep.
What's getting him?
Well, he deals with a lot of weird things like depression and anxiety and those things. And he's
Hmm.
on medication for it. And he recently got put on some other kind of medication, different.
Yeah.
And so it's really messing with him, I guess. He's not, I don't know, I guess it's probably not working as well as the other stuff. And so
Yeah.
he's just freaked out about everything.
Struggling. Bummer.
You know, he called me, I don't know, one day last week and was rambling on about some stuff. And then he starts telling me that it's not my problem and I shouldn't have to put up with him and listen to his nonsense. And then just hangs up on me. And I was like, well, that's weird. I tried calling him back, no response. I sent him a text. I'm like, dude, I don't, if I answer the phone, I will talk to you. If I'm available, I'll talk. It's fine. I enjoy our conversations. If I'm not available, I won't answer the phone. So call me back. Never called back, never text back. I called his dad, and his dad's like, yeah, he's not doing very well. So I don't know.
Bummer.
Yep. Where's old Dan?
I don't know. He said pretty soon about, let me look here. 9 minutes ago, he said pretty soon. So
So when
9 minutes is pretty soon.
this I just thought of something here. So your driver's
Okay.
license is expired
Yeah.
and you just recently, I assume, you went out and voted last Tuesday
Yeah.
and you had to show your ID
Hmm.
and they didn't, I guess they don't care if it's expired.
Nah, I don't care.
They probably don't even care if you have an ID.
Well, it's hard for him to care if you got an ID because I think that's kind of a thing. Like people, if they get too picky, somebody's gonna call them racist.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it still is a state issued ID with my picture and info on it, and it's
Mm.
all the info is correct.
Oh, that reminds me of
So,
that reminds me of something Josh told me, not this last conversation, but an earlier conversation months ago. He he went up to the dispensary thing
oh
to
yeah,
buy some, who knows what, some kind of marijuana product. And so he went in there and apparently you have to show an ID to get in,
okay,
to even get in the building.
really,
And that's what he says.
I don't know
And
these things.
well, I don't either. And then so he pulls out his ID and they're like, "Well, it's expired." And he's like, "Okay." They're like, "Well, we can't let you in if it's expired." He's like, "But it's me. Like it's my ID. Shows you I'm how old I am, who I am." They're like, "Yeah, but it's expired. We can't let you in here." So they turned him away and he left.
Weird.
So to buy
Yeah, so he was
marijuana, you
he
have to
was
have a
operating
valid.
on the valid. Yeah.
But to vote, you don't have to
Nah,
have valid ID.
nah. Either that or my vote didn't count. I don't even know.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're like, we're just not
Maybe
going to
Trump
tell
would have
this
won a
guy.
little bit more if I'd gone and
I don't.
if I'd gone and
I mean,
got my
Clay
license
County.
renewed.
I don't know if Clay County's ever voted Democrat.
Mm, probably not.
And there are only 3 counties in Missouri that do.
No, St.
And
Charles County,
yep, Jackson County.
and Jackson County, and another one over there, like
No, it's Boone County, Columbia.
oh, where the school is. Yep,
Those are the 3 dim counties in Missouri.
that's funny. I guess I haven't looked into it, but apparently old Beyonce canceled all her uh, shows that were going to be in red states.
Well, that's all of them then. Well, California and New York, I guess. She's gonna
Right.
gonna do like 2 states.
I think well, DC, she could go
Yeah.
there. Did you ever see, I don't know, no, you were in Puerto Rico. So I don't know what TVs and stuff were showing down there. Like, did you have US news on down there?
Well, yeah, it was weird because they would show like you could watch like Fox News and CNN down there, but some
Yeah.
of it was in English and some of it was in the Spanish.
Dude, that's just like Hulu these days.
I
Have you
don't
you don't
have
have
Hulu.
Hulu, do you?
Uh-uh.
Dude, it's the weirdest thing. You be watching a show and it'll flip to the commercials and it'll be in Spanish.
Yeah, that's how it
Like
was down there.
the commercials will just be in Spanish. Like,
Yes.
I mean, don't you know all the stuff that's in my phone? Don't you know that I don't speak Spanish?
Well, that's how it was down there, but I think that's to be expected.
Well, I'd say Spanish is the majority of people down there.
It did seem that way. So we, yeah,
But what
we,
I started to say is we're talking about democratic states. Um, I took a picture of it because they were scrolling across the ticker on the bottom, the percentages as the election was happening.
mm-hmm.
And generally, you're looking at states that are like 49 to 51 is the tons of states. The ratio is 49 to 51% one side, one way or the other. And then there were plenty of them that were like 30s to 60s, 30 some percent to 60 some percent. Like that was also pretty common. And then DC came up and uh it was 94% Kamala Harris,
Dang.
6% Trump.
Wow.
So like 25 people in Washington D.C. voted for Trump.
How many electoral votes do they have?
They don't.
They don't have any?
No,
Because it's not part of the 50
it's not a state.
state. It's just
Same as they want it. They really want it to have electoral votes.
well,
Same with
why do
Puerto
they even
Rico.
vote then? Like where do their votes go that matter?
um, it's still a popular vote. Let me double check myself because um,
Well, popular vote doesn't even count. I mean it does, but I got the old I got the old US map right here in front of me. It doesn't show the votes on it though.
yeah, 92.5. voted for Harris, and 6.7 voted for Trump. Oh, look at that. Um, there's 3 electoral votes.
Ah, Kamala got all three of them, huh?
Yes, you did.
And is it what state is it? Is it I can't remember, South Dakota or
Virgin.
North Dakota is divided into two different electoral groups.
Mm, maybe Nebraska does that.
Nebraska, maybe that's Nebraska that I'm thinking of. There aren't very many states that do that.
No.
And I don't even understand it. We need to bring Chris Brown on here and have him explain to us what all this
Oh,
stuff
here we
means.
go.
Well, there's Dan
Here's
Bump.
Dan joining us. Yeah, we should. Dadgum, that'd be a great idea. Don't you think, Dan?
Dan can't even hear us.
That's okay.
That's normal.
um, I'm I was going to play this here video whenever Dan got on here.
I never know if Dan's messing with us or if he really can't hear us or we can't hear him, but you hear us. I don't hear you.
All right.
Get the pen
So
and
here we
paper
go.
out and just start writing it down. We'll read it.
Yeah. Okay. I got to go share, and here is Jimmy's video. Wait,
Oh, Dan's leaving us.
now where'd my. Okay, what's that? New. Here we go. Here's the election night from. Well, can I get it to play? Okay, there we go. No sound?
No sound.
Can you hear it now?
Oh yeah. And this was just one tiny little clip of that happening all the time all over the city. It's crazy down there. They were so excited to be voting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, and I believe, wasn't it uh, a Republican won the governor for the like first time ever, maybe
I'm not
down
sure.
there?
I didn't check into it. I know I didn't I Jeremy and I both talked to multiple people down there who claim to be Trump supporters, even though they can't vote for Trump or Kamala.
Right.
But those people also said that the majority of people in Puerto Rico don't like Trump. So I don't know. I don't know. Where did Dan go?
I just tried to let him back
Can you
in
hear me
just
now?
now.
Oh, I heard
Oh
Dan.
yeah. Hey Dan,
You can see me. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you. Yes.
Do I have volume now? You do.
but you can't
I don't
hear us.
understand what the deal is with that. No, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
I added my little mic, little Mikey,
Our
Yeah.
fourth
Moneymaker Mike.
guy on the show.
Moneymaker Mike. Yeah,
Did you see the video I just played?
yeah. I didn't understand what it was, but I saw it.
Well, now that
I saw people honking their horns. Thought, what were they voting for?
Well, I
stuff
don't
in
really
Puerto
know.
Rico.
I couldn't read it. They were flying
Wait.
flags and
Puerto Ricans, yeah, because they don't vote for the president, the U.S. deal.
No, but they
Right.
have an election at the same time apparently.
Okay.
yeah, last Tuesday, Jeremy and I were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and we were just walking around the streets, and we saw this massive line of people just like wrapped around many blocks, police everywhere, and we were like, "What the heck is that?" And then we found out it was they were having an election, and then you would see vehicles like that just driving all over town, honking their horns and flying flags and doing all kinds of hollering and whatnot all day long.
So whoever they were, it went well, or they didn't really care if it went well.
What?
Like whoever their person was. I mean,
Yeah, I
was
don't
that the
know.
day after the election?
No,
That was
the
day of.
Oh,
The next day, I got
Dude,
up and went to the
so-
airport.
they were not excited about being called a garbage heap in the middle of the ocean, and so they
Who was
elected
that
somebody
said
to
that?
take out Trump. It's Tony something. He's got a show called Kill Tony, and it's basically
right.
just like one long like roast of whoever, like just people roasting each other is all the
Right.
the whole show is.
Dude, there's this kid on there right now called Cam Patterson. Have you seen him?
Nope.
Oh man,
Maybe.
he's
I don't know.
funny. He is super funny. You need to look up Kill Tony with Cam Patterson on it because it's real funny. He's just like super street black kid that I think he said he was selling drugs and one of his buddies was like, "You're pretty funny." And somehow he like what was the deal? Somehow he basically decided he probably didn't want to go to jail and that potentially there was an option for him to like be a comedian, something like that. And so he just started doing stand up and quit selling drugs. Like he was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I don't know if like one of his friends got killed or I don't know, but he was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore, and started doing stand up and is really funny.
I'll have to check it
You
out.
gotta, yeah, you gotta look at him.
Hey, tell me what happens when I do that. Am I still on screen?
Yeah. What'd you do?
Apparently nothing. I exited out of the window.
Huh. Yeah, you're still on.
I was gonna try to share. Can I share my screen?
Can you?
I'm gonna see if I can. Um, I don't really see how. Select a tab to share. See if I can get it. No. Apparently not.
It says
don't know how to do
0%
it.
has uploaded.
There. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hey, look at
I
that.
see that.
Oh, you're building it on stilts,
Building it
like a
all
lake
above
house.
grade.
I'm building it on stilts. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think of that? Um, it's been changing a lot lately.
That doesn't look
Not a
anything like
ton.
what you described to me.
It's not. There's
That
a
looks like way more house than
pretty
shop.
strong. There's a pretty strong basement thing going on with the women folk thinking that we're going to get taken by a tornado,
Oh yeah.
and
Forgot about that.
um, and it's just it's a it's one of those things. It's not a it doesn't matter enough to me, and it's only like 20 grand, so to put a basement under it. But by the time you put the basement under it, it's like you might as well just build a house. It's going to have, I don't need the shop to be 2 stories, and it doesn't really flow together necessarily. Like it just doesn't, I don't need it to be the full 2 stories if it's not on a slab. Like the build isn't any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's got a 48 by 36 shop. It's got basically a more or less it's 2 stories, except for like a couple feet is shallower here.
So is it still
And it's got a
pole
big old
barn
wraparound
construction, or is
porch.
it just? How
I still might do metal on the outside, but honestly, it doesn't. Other than the pole barn, other than the garage being pole barn construction, the rest of it doesn't. I don't see any major advantage to doing it pole barn style. Once you're putting it on a foundation, like
right?
if you're putting a deck on it, you want to spread all the wall weight around on the edge of the deck. You don't want to put it on like posts at that point. I don't think
Right.
so.
Cool.
I mean, it's here. I'll pull up my other. Let's see if I can pull up a different window. I'm gonna unshare this one,
Can you take us inside?
and then I'm gonna say share. I can take you in the top view. I think this is the one on the top view. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just pretty straightforward. First floor is living room. I guess it'd be living room, kitchen, dining room. There's 1 bedroom on the main floor with a closet. I have my door selector. Stairs going up. Let's go with. I'm trying to look at a different screen then. And then I think what on the second floor, I'm just going to do 2 bedrooms on one end and leave the rest of it unfinished for now,
Mm-hmm.
like this whole area. And then I'll probably plumb it to where I can put a bathroom here if I want to put a future bathroom there. And then
Future
I'll probably have my
So
office in the basement again.
1 bathroom upstairs and potential 2nd bathroom upstairs. Is that what you're saying?
Probably just there's two fulls on the main level this time. My current house has
Yeah.
1.5 on the main level. I'm going to do 2 full bathrooms on the main level, and then potentially put another bathroom upstairs in a future finish kind of way. And on the
Why
yeah,
don't you
go
have
ahead.
your office
Why
in the outbuilding?
Do what?
You
Why
should
don't I
have
have
your
what?
office in the shop.
Well, so here's the thing about the office and the shop. Let's in the location that I've kind of moved it down into a valley a little bit more, not in the middle of a valley like water, but like I've moved it to a point where
Looks like there's
the
mountains over
ground
there.
level is going to be about level here. What?
There's mountains in the background.
And then probably what's in the background?
Mountains.
Oh, yeah, there's no mountains.
Oh.
I've goofed around with the terrain feature on it, but I I don't really know how to use the terrain feature. But basically everything to the left where the driveway is going to be flat. And from about here, it trails off and there's a creek about right here where my cursor is from the house. And it's not really a creek. It's just the lowest spot where water flows. So in this area right here, right as you come down the stairs, that's actually going to be probably the ground level is going to be about where my cursor is.
Really?
So I'll be able to look out the front of a downstairs office. I'll be looking under the porch, but I'll be able to look out like I'm looking out this window, but it'll actually be the front. So I'll probably put the office down there again, most likely. And you were asking about the bathroom, because here's my thought on the bathroom at the moment. If I put the bathroom, I don't want to have. So in our county, the more bathrooms you have, the higher tax rate you go into, because they just assume that if you have 3 bathrooms, then you have a monster of a house. If I put a bathroom, if I only put a half bath on the main floor, then I have to put a full bathroom upstairs. If I put a full bathroom on the main floor, I don't necessarily have to put a bathroom on the second floor. But I can't really see having a main floor with no guest bathroom, even though we don't really need 2 bathrooms on the main floor. Does that make sense?
So, but you said 2 full baths on the main floor?
Yeah. Yeah, so like the 2 rooms for the upstairs would be here, and they would go down the stairs, and as soon as they hit the bottom of the stairs, they would go into the bathroom.
So you're saying, okay,
on this particular layout.
On your drawing, you have 2 full baths drawn upstairs. Is that right?
Yeah, on the main
No,
the main
upstairs.
floor.
Upstairs.
No, this is no, I have no bathrooms on the upstairs. Those red lines are just the like here we go. Reference. There.
That's an overlay?
There's the upstairs.
Okay.
It's just an overlay so you can see where everything lines up compared to downstairs.
Okay.
So this is the stairs coming up. There's a hallway. Goes to 2 bedrooms with a closet between. And this bathroom we could put a bathroom right here.
So okay.
I mean, I guess.
So what you're saying, I think that I didn't catch right off, is you need 2 bathrooms.
I think we need 2 bathrooms, yeah.
And you're not going to put one upstairs. So you
Correct.
need 2 showers downstairs.
Basically, yeah. I mean, if we never were having anybody over to the house, we could just have our master bath on the first floor. But I don't.
That's what Darcy does.
Like this office, how do you like that? How do you like your master bathroom being? Well, your bathroom isn't in your bedroom though.
It kind of is.
Is it?
It has a door.
Is your master bathroom in your bedroom?
There's not a door between the bathroom and our bedroom.
But there is
There's a door
between
past the bathroom.
the bathroom and the
There's a
living
door
room.
between the house and the bathroom and our bedroom, but there's not a door between the bathroom and our room.
Right, but if you shut that door, the bathroom is in the
The rest
bedroom.
of the house is on the other side. Yeah.
So the
It's
house
not
And
is
if you
ideal.
could just magically drop a, yeah, if you could magically drop a bat, well, and the way yours is laid out, it's about the only way you really would do it, because otherwise you have to go fully into the bedroom to get to the bathroom, and yours is like
you don't feel
kind of
like you're
feels like
going
you're
in
in
the
a
bedroom.
hallway when you're standing there. Yeah.
And eventually, I'm gonna put a door right here, just like
Between,
a sliding barn door.
yeah.
I'm pointing as if I'm still on screen. Oh yeah, I am.
I can see you.
Mm-hmm. You are.
The house I grew up in when I was a kid had one bathroom, 3 bedrooms, and it was in the hallway. The doorway to the bathroom was in the hallway, and then there was also a door from the master bedroom into that same bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like a Jack and Jill and Jack and Jill and Jack and Jill style.
Kinda, yeah. So you could use the bathroom if you were a guest just by walking down the hallway and going into the bathroom, or you could shut that door and go into the bathroom from the master bedroom.
The house that we lived in when I was a teenager, there were 2 doors into the bathroom. One, it could have been another bedroom, but it was essentially a hallway because the stairs to the upstairs were off of that room. So that room essentially became the office. The computer was in there,
Mm-hmm.
some bookshelves and stuff. So there was a door to the bathroom from that office slash walkway to the upstairs, and then there was a doorway on the other side of the bathroom from my parents' room into the bathroom.
So you could just do something like that, Dan. Make the main floor bathroom accessible from the bedroom and the main living area.
Now you got to have 2 showers.
Yeah. So
You can't have a
when I
3 bedroom
look at the
house with one
plan,
shower.
But then you could put the bathroom upstairs and still have a guest
that's
bathroom.
true. Here's
Yeah, but
here's my
if you already
thinking right
have a
now.
second bathroom drawn in, why wouldn't you want to have like your private master bathroom that no one else goes
Right.
in?
The only thing I would potentially change is to only have a half bath on the main floor instead of 2 fulls.
Yeah.
Because like if you crosshair here and you go, no, we're gonna just have a half bath there. Honestly, that tub isn't taking up that much space in the grand scheme of things. And on it, and the other thing is like if we're getting ready in the morning and she's at the sink doing whatever and I want to walk literally one more step to go to this toilet, that ain't bad either, you know.
Right.
Because I mean, sometimes whenever I know it's going to be a problem, I just go to the mudroom bathroom anyway.
Mm-hmm.
To set the alarm for taking Lisa. So yeah, I think a big part of it is just that getting that much square footage finished. The tub isn't that big of a deal to have an extra tub in the house. And if eventually we put another bathroom on the second floor, then great. And if we don't, we still have 2 full bathrooms. And
when you say tub,
boys'
do you mean
rooms.
shower?
Well, no, mine is a shower with no tub. That one will be an actual tub with a shower.
Do you have people in your home that use
And
tubs?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't use a tub. I think I got in a tub once in this house
Once. I
when
don't remember the last time I got in a
back.
bathtub.
Yeah, I don't know that I have actually. Now that I'm saying it,
What about you, Darcy? You like the tub?
No, I don't foresee myself ever taking a bath ever.
Right?
if okay, if the standard size tub was like 6.5 feet long, and you could actually get in the tub and like it was actually comfortable to like almost hot tub esque, would you take a bath?
No, it's
No,
not comfortable.
not once.
Well,
Like, what
you
if
know
it
what?
was comfortable?
If it was a jacuzzi, if it was a big old
You
jacuzzi,
just go sit in the jacuzzi
yeah,
tub.
that's the only
But guess
reason I
what? You're
would.
not getting clean. You're just relaxing. So get a
Correct.
hot tub.
So you might as well go get in the jacuzzi. And I've never really liked, you go to like a resort or whatever, and they have a big old jacuzzi tub, and
Right.
like you turn on the water and it takes like an hour to fill it, and you don't know what's in the jets because like
Right.
they can't drain the jets out properly. Uh they kind of gross me out a little bit, even like using somebody else's jacuzzi. Because I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't use them.
like it it's not because you think, yeah, it's not because you know they've done something goofy in the jacuzzi tub. It's because no matter if they were just bathing their butthole, that water's just in those lines. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
man. I mean, a
I,
bathtub and it cools down so quick.
Yeah.
Like
it's
the
way
water
too
cools
fast.
off. I don't have any use for a bathtub.
No, I think they're dumb.
It's yeah. After you turn about
They're for bathing
four
babies.
4 years old, 3 years old, I think that's the only.
Yeah, they were great
Kids
when
Now,
my
liked it.
kids
whenever
were
I was
little.
small enough, so whenever I was small enough that I could lay in the bathtub, feet fully straight out and head submerged. So what are you, like 3 foot tall at that point, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I would get in the bath, float, and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Straight up. My mom has pictures of me floating in the bathtub, completely asleep.
Your little wiener keeping you afloat.
I
He's got the masked up.
probably so. Oh, maybe so. I mean, hey, look, I could get in on Judah's phone call. He linked his phone to my computer, and now I know when he's on the phone.
Oh, let's do
What?
that.
That's
Who?
crazy. Judah.
Let's join him in right now.
Dude, I can barely get me in on a phone call. I don't know,
That's
or on
true.
a Zoom call. I don't know how we would bring him in. We could oh, here we go. Let me pull this. So I don't know.
Well,
That's my
here's the
thought on
thing.
this one.
It's
That's
been a lot soon. It's been a lot more recent for him that he's been taking baths.
Yeah, he might have some helpful
for
information for
Judah.
us.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get him in here.
Could be dangerous.
I'm gonna say stop. How do I get back there? Stop sharing. Okay. Are we live? Are we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is all this nonsense live?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you should have asked that a long time ago if you weren't certain. I think I would have stopped you if you got too crazy.
Um.
Oh, look at that.
He's been on the phone for a minute and a half.
Now Judah's phone number is
transfer
on
to
YouTube
no.
for
So
all to see.
all I can do is transfer to PC. I can't actually. I could transfer to where whoever he's talking to could talk
Oh, let's
to us.
do that. Let's just talk to whoever he's talking to.
Let's find out who he's talking to.
That's probably what he's hoping. He's probably
Okay.
tonight all this whole afternoon he was like, man, I really hope that my dad and his friends interrupt my phone conversations this evening. That would be cool.
And put them on the interweb.
I have a feeling that. Are we live? Are we going?
Yeah, we're
now?
recording. We're live on YouTube.
Did you say
Judah's phone number is,
hey, not your average
did.
guys?
I said that before you came on
Okay.
because we didn't know when you were going to come and get on here.
Oh, so we've been live the whole time.
We've been live the whole time. Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
We were
Okay.
live.
Hopefully-
Well, I want
20
to tell you
minutes
guys a
Hopefully you
story.
guys. Okay, you got a story for us?
Dude, I got a story.
I've got
Because
one too.
I don't know
after
if
that.
we ever told the story about. Did we ever tell the story about coming back from the concert and hitting the chicken in the middle of the night?
Yes, we
on here?
did.
That was
Okay.
a good one.
The saga continues.
Oh man,
So
you killed another chicken
The,
on your way home from Columbia again?
no, but what I did see, I feel like it's one of those things where you could just like make up a whole backstory and like tie these two events together, and it'd make for a pretty interesting something. Okay, so Marcella's, I know now, radiator went out on her
Okay.
4Runner. I don't know how much damage she did to the vehicle because I don't think that an engine that's running with zero coolant in it sounds the same as an engine that's running full of coolant.
Not for very long.
So I don't know if I'm hearing like major lifter damage or if it's just sounds kind of hollow because of not having any coolant in it.
Hmm.
Anybody have an idea on that
Have you
to
checked
start
the
with?
oil?
Oil looks fine. The transmission fluid, I'm thinking about doing a flush on it because it has a cooler on the radiator,
Mhm.
and the transmission fluid doesn't look pink. It looks gray.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, that could have leaked
And
water
it
in
seems like very, 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 very thin viscosity. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do a transmission flush on that when I put the radiator back in.
there. Dude, did you already buy transmission
Because-
fluid?
No. I didn't buy any. I bought coolant that I dumped in the radiator after replacing the top hose that was cracked, and it all poured out the bottom of the car.
If you think that you're not going to have that thing like all back together until after this weekend, do not buy transmission
Mhm.
fluid because I have gallons of it.
Hmm.
I'll take them because I'm understanding that it takes a bit of extra to get a flush
Yeah,
because you can't just drain it. You have to actually
like run it through.
run it
Yeah.
through the system until it shows new.
Yeah, I was looking for oil
So I have no
tonight
idea.
and was only finding transmission fluid. I have so much transmission fluid. I'd probably have
Which
3
vehicle was
gallons
that
of transmission fluid in quarts.
Nice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe 5. There
Yeah.
might be 5 gallons.
Yeah.
Too many.
That's a lot.
So I don't know if the whole fixing of the, I mean, it started right up. I drove it onto the trailer and it started up and I drove it into the shop. Sounds like there's lifters knocking, unfortunately. But Radiator was $100, so I'm gonna give it a shot, see what happens.
Yeah.
And with a bunch of free transmission fluid, maybe that's worth doing too.
Mhm.
Okay, so I drive to Columbia. I am headed back around 11:30 midnight, somewhere in there. Same
Sounds familiar.
area where we hit the chicken. And freaking out of nowhere, I pass a dude just standing on the highway in the dark, right beside the highway, brown canvas type jacket, out in the middle of freaking nowhere. And I'm just like, what?
He's looking for
No
that chicken.
backpack, just a dude, looking for a chicken on the side of the highway.
Yeah. Man,
Weird.
I was driving
That's
And
somewhere
awesome.
the other
and it
day,
was
and for whatever reason, uh, I all of a sudden kind of recognized, like, generally this happens late at night, like when I'm real tired and I've been driving too long, where all of a sudden you recognize that you don't really remember, like you aren't asleep, your eyes never closed and stayed closed, but all of a sudden you realize that you don't really remember the last like 5 miles or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? That like where
mm-hmm,
all of a sudden your brain like re-engages. And it seemed
mm-hmm.
like somehow the other day,
And you've just been watching the lines. You're just like,
yeah, you just,
you're awake enough to keep it on the road, but you're not really,
yeah,
really awake.
somehow the other day, there was just like a kind of a split second of that where I kind of like my mind drifted or something. And and it got me thinking like, how like horrible would it be to just mow somebody over?
Be bad.
Like,
Mm.
like that.
Yeah,
Like
bad.
if you're going 70 miles an hour down the interstate in the dark and a dude is standing there, that's
Right
crazy.
next to the white line.
Hmm.
So he was the couple things that I can tell you is I was like, whoa, that's super weird. And I was like trying, like after seeing him, after he zips by, I'm like, there was no vehicle that I've seen for miles. There was no, I didn't see backpack or any gear that he had on him. And we're multiple miles from an exit. And so I looked, and the next thing I saw was like mile 82.2 or something like that. And I immediately just called dispatch and was like, hey, I don't have any idea if this is a thing, but there's a dude standing on the side of I-70 westbound. Gave them the number. They, asked if I wanted a call back or whatever. I was like, I mean, I'm curious, but I'm not stopping. I said I'm pulling a trailer and I'm already at least a mile away from there. I'm not stopping and, turn around. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was even thinking like, what if you had car trouble and you pulled off on the shoulder
Yep.
to slow down,
And
and the
there's a
dude,
guy.
like, he was standing, like, the thing is, like, he was standing like this away from the road.
Hmm.
I'm guessing he was looking at his phone or something because I couldn't see the light of his phone, but he was standing there like this. I mean, he wouldn't see you coming. He wouldn't know that you were not in your lane unless he heard the rumble type deal. He could have like, and the other thing I remember is I don't remember if it was a bridge or anything, but there was a guardrail right after him. And I did kind of wonder if he like drove his car off the edge and like, it was just totally out of sight and he had just made it back up to the highway or something.
Crazy.
Weren't you kind of
Because
halfway expecting
it's
to see a chicken
midnight.
on that road?
I mean, I think that's part of the reason I was kind of alert-ish at the moment. I was like watching for deer and chickens and stuff to be
Poultry.
crossing the road.
Poultry.
And I also had seen what I thought was an elk dead on the side of the road
Dude.
already going out to Columbia.
So I guess you didn't stop on the way back to figure it out?
No, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I came back through there.
Why were you
I
in
have looked a
Columbia?
couple times. I was picking up Marcella's Forerunner that her radiator blew out on.
Oh, that's where it was.
Mm-hmm. She went to the like a Navy ball there. A friend of hers just got through Navy indoctrination, I think.
Cool.
On September 12th, a pickup truck hit a wild elk on I-70 in Kansas. Missouri State Highway Trail.
I saw, I don't know, probably 20 elk today
Did you?
Oh yeah.
alive.
Where were you at?
I was on a road. What's the name of that road? Is it Jesse James Farm Road?
No. Oh.
Let me look.
Is it wild elk or
No, it's high
fenced elk?
fence. It's
High fence.
it's in Kearney. There's a dude.
What are they there for?
Oh, that place. Yeah.
Is
Yeah, that's
are
just
they
a general
breeders or
hobby.
are they taking the antlers?
He just has them for fun.
He does have antlers.
Somerset Road is what it is.
Somerset. But it's right at the corner of Somerset and Jesse James, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesse James, Somerset, and 128th all intersect with each other right there.
Yeah.
But he's got a bunch of them, and the bulls are huge right now.
I don't know why, but if I had money, I would raise exotic animals. Just I've thought red deer. I don't know why. They're not native to here or anything like that. But those suckers are a cool looking deer. They're like half elk, half deer, maybe like whitetail, probably like half
Is it
elk,
the
half
red
mule deer
stag or
looking
whatever they call it?
critters. Red stag. They have their antlers look more like an elk's antlers
Right.
than probably anything else.
But
They're a
smaller
deer.
bodied than an elk and bigger than a deer.
Probably like 2/3, I would guess, of an elk, something like that.
Do
but
it.
Quite a bit bigger than a deer.
Do it.
Well, so here's the thing. I'm actually talking to my neighbor right now. We are in like a conversation phase of, do we want to put bison out at the rock house? Because he would have to watch them. And the theory that I have on them is that, and I'm doing the research, it's not looking super promising, but the theory that I have right now is that you could just fence the tree line, maybe even give them a little bit of the tree line, go down, wrap around the lake, and go to where the cattle guard crosses onto the dam, and then just connect that fence straight down to his fence. So they'd have the road, they'd have two of the ponds, and they'd have the whole hillside, and then they'd have a little bit of trees. Okay.
So what would that be? Like
And
30
then
acres?
Yeah, they'd probably have 30, 35 acres, something like that.
Is a
And
cattle
then
fence
put an
gonna
automatic
keep bison?
gate. The people keep them in with 6-strand high tensile hot wire.
Oh, okay.
And they also keep them in with barbed wire, but the problem with barbed wire is if they don't really they don't respond to barbed wire. They'll actually use it to scratch. They'll like go up against it, and their hides are a lot thicker than a cow's hide. And so typically if you have barbed wire, which he has a really nice barbed wire fence on the south side, and he has a 4-wire electric on the north side. So we'd be connecting those two together to leave them in the whole field. And then we would put an auto gate on the dam and an auto gate on the front. So people would have to drive through the buffalo field to get to the house. They would no longer be able to walk around out there in the field. But I mean, and then we would get, if we were doing it, we would just get breeding, or we wouldn't get breeding stock. We would just get stalker. So we'd get castrated male calves. Probably that would be the most cost effective ones to get. And then like maybe do 4 of them, and then every year shoot 2 of them on site and have them butchered, and then add 2 more calves. So it would look like you have like a little buffalo herd, but it'd always just be stalker animals, like butcher animals.
And then a couple of red stag in the mix.
So
yeah, then put up a 10-foot fence for the red stag.
Yeah.
Right.
With that fence configuration, would the fence, the entire pond would be in the pasture then, hey?
The big pond, or the 2 small ones would be.
What?
The 2 small ponds that are on the driveway would be in the pasture. The big pond would be, the lake would be at the house.
So the lake would be
So they-
would be outside of the pasture completely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd have to come down the hill from the south, down the hill, wrap around the lake
Where that
there's
temporary
there's 2
electric fence
posts.
was.
Sort of.
Ish.
I'd maybe give them a little bit more, but yeah, some sort of where that is. And there's a walking path, which, well, the path that goes to that little field in the woods, that you could potentially send the fence up the edge of it, and then they could have that whole little hickory forest that's about 5 acres of hickories for shelter, potentially. But I don't know if we would do that or just leave them out.
You're saying though, on the south side of the lake, take it up the hill, or you're saying that potentially you put the lake in the bison pasture.
No, I'm saying you'd take the let's see. You still up? You'd take the, let's see if I can just pull it here. What I'm saying is that,
I'm looking at it on the map.
Oh, you can see it?
Rock House Rentals.
I don't know why this won't clear up a little bit.
It's because you have slow internet.
Clear. What the heck? Layer, clean, no borders. Everything. Huh. Well, apparently it's not. So it'd be basically from this is where the crosswalk is.
Mhm.
or this is where the cattle guard is, right here. You basically go up and then go around the lake and then up through the woods to connect.
I like it. I think you should do it.
But for some reason, it's not coming up.
I'm looking at it. I can
Hmm.
see what you're talking about. You got that little like mowed trail along the side of the lake.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
it he said he would, if I would buy the supplies. He's a fence installer. If I buy the supplies, he would come help me put it in.
Doug?
And then Doug, and then I was like, I'm only gonna do it if you're willing to go in with me on taking care of these suckers, because I ain't gonna be here enough to feed them,
Does he live there?
and we would probably have to build. He lives straight across the road. He could look, if there was buffaloes out there, he could walk out his front door and he could look across and he could go, yep, they're all there. And
Nice.
you know, and so because what happened is, I he didn't want to rent it unless he could put up a bunch of permanent fences. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And so I talked to the other neighbor. The other neighbor named Caleb has like a farm to table cattle operation. He was like, yeah, I'd like to rent it. And I was like, well, I'd like it to be mowed once a year. And he's like, well, that's about all that I would be willing to pay for it, was mowing it. And I was like, well, let's do it this year just to get it mowed and we'll see what happens next year. But I was like, but I don't want it mowed after both grazing seasons are over. I want it mowed. You spring graze, mow it, and then fall graze. He never got around to mowing it for spring graze. So my whole field, which normally would be like during deer season, would be like somewhere between knee and waist high in grasses and stuff and plants, is just mowed down.
Hmm.
So it's not a big deal, but it's like normally during deer season, the deer are out on that field all the time, because a deer has plenty of cover all over that hillside. Like they bed out there all the time, but not really this year that I've seen, because it's all just mowed down to nothing. And it got mowed during the drought. So there's really nothing on it. Like the grasses are just now starting to grow again.
You need to
So
get a brush hog out there, because so far no one has done what you would prefer them to do.
nope, nobody
I think
has.
you should
And
crop it.
Or
I know have
no,
lots and
it's
lots
too
of time to do
it's
all sorts of things, but it'd be a day of brush hogging if you could get a big
not with
tractor.
mine.
If you could get a bigger tractor and like a 10-foot brush hog.
Then it'd be a day. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Caleb, the guy who rented it, he borrowed Doug's brush hog and brush hogged it.
He borrowed one?
He doesn't even have a hog. He borrowed Doug's, the guy across the road that I'm talking to about the buffalo.
Hmm.
But to be perfectly honest, I'd rather have buffalo out there any day than
That would be
get
cool.
nothing off of brush hogging it.
And
I
then if
mean,
you don't kill a
why?
deer, you can just kill a
And the
buffalo.
only question is, well, I think that you could just like, I think that you could just go do a little buffalo hunt, shoot one, and there, and I know that there's mobile butcher guys that just will come out and haul them off,
Hmm.
you know, gut them and haul them for you on their little trucks. Um,
Hmm. That
but
reminds me. I'll be right back.
I don't know, maybe even sell the buffalo hunt. There's like buffalo hunts are the cheesiest thing ever. Like they're not afraid of you. They're just standing out in the field and you just go shoot them. Of course, if they run all of my fence through, that would suck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you get some goober out there, shoot it in the butt, and go and tear all your fins out, running away.
That would really bite. Yeah.
I got some
So the only
deer
what you got there?
sticks.
Where'd you
So
get
did you
those?
guys you never did?
So
Oh,
Brandon's kid shot a deer. I guess it was last week,
Yeah.
and
and
then
they
one of
already got it turned into sticks.
Brandon's friends does it for
Wow.
fun, and he smoked the meat, and then there's even like a chunk of cheddar in there.
Nice, dude. These
I have
days, if
I have a
I
gallon
had
bag
this
full of it.
stuff, I would turn half of my deer into that.
Heck yeah.
And so I was at his house yesterday, and he said, "If you get a deer, hold some of the meat over here. I'll grind it up and make it for you." And I was like, "Okay."
Well, how did you guys do? Did you end up going out?
We went Saturday to clear the trails. Yeah,
Oh, but didn't you and Ellett go out during youth
we
season?
never made it because I ended up going to the
No.
Virgin Islands.
Gotcha.
How was your weekend?
Did you
Dan?
do any?
I haven't talked to you since youth season.
Which weekend? We had 15 come out to the event, I guess you'd say, between dads and sons. Let's see, me, five dads and 10 kids.
Oof.
Asa saw deer about every time that he went out, and he ended up shooting a spike buck on his last hunt. Sunday morning rained, just rained. And he ended up going out from like 10 o'clock to like noon. Didn't see anything. No, okay, so he saw deer on his the 2 Saturday hunts and nothing close enough. I mean, we saw a nice buck that was probably only like 75, 85 yards, but he didn't shoot it. He just, like, I don't think it was clear enough in his mind at the range for just open sights to take the shot. And then he shot that spike when he was out by himself. So I don't know if he's just waiting to not have me or Judah sitting with him. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
Good.
I sat one time at this stand that's on the very north corner of the property, and when Judah and Ace and I went out to check things out on Friday, we hiked around the woods. And we got to the spot where my stand was, and Judah goes, "Well, you should put a stand right over, like right here." I was like, "Oh, why is that?" He's like, "It seems like deer would just move through here and just like sneak through there without you seeing them." And sure enough, I sat in the stand where I had it set up on the corner, and I saw a pretty nice little buck walk literally right where Judah said I should have put the stand. And I was like, "Of course."
Put a stand
Of
there.
course he did. Yeah. I'm kind of a little bit convinced in those woods that since I don't have any good like game trail, like there's no pinch points or anything in the whole place, I need to just hang up like every stand that I have, even if they're within sight of each other, and like hunt in one stand just to see where they're moving, and then just the next hunt go move, then like the next hunt move to that stand that's closer to where they're moving, because I've seen a lot of deer out there and only been on them a couple times, like right where the stand was for bow range. And I've shot one too high and one too low, and put arrows all the way through 2 deer this year without retrieving one. which is not my favorite.
You need to get some bigger
Yeah.
arrows.
Apparently, the one dude, I really think I stuck an arrow through him like maybe 2 or 3 inches too far back from the heart, and it just went through him and didn't, like, he didn't even know he was shot through.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Because it hit nothing.
That's the one
Unbelievable.
you sent me the video of that one, right? Unbelievable.
No, I sent you. That was the one I shot too high, like right over his back. The other one, the second one, looked like the arrow was like right on. It was like at the spot where you expect him to just start shooting blood out,
Didn't.
and he just like nothing. He just walked. He ran like 30 yards, started eating acorns again. And then I found the arrow, and it definitely was a full-on pass-through with blood all the way up the arrow. And that deer didn't act like he knew that he had been shot through.
And there was no blood trail?
Nah.
Crazy.
Well, no, I didn't even bother trailing that deer, because where I shot him, I have 27 more minutes of video of him wandering around in the woods eating acorns. Like,
wow.
I don't care if he was bleeding the entire time.
Right.
He didn't die from that.
Right.
Unless he like went to bed that night and just like died
Woke
in his
up
sleep
dead.
or something. Just woke up dead. Isn't it true, doctor, that when a person dies in their sleep, they don't know it until they wake up the next morning?
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds right.
I've never done
I think
it.
I'm just
but...
a bad rusty hunter. Or
You
something.
haven't done that, Darcy?
I don't even.
Not that I know of.
So it's possible.
Woken up dead.
Mm-hmm.
What if we are all have woken up dead and just don't know it?
Maybe.
What's the Sixth Sense?
Some days I feel like that may have happened.
Bruce Willis?
Fifth Element? No. What's that one called? It's
I was thinking of Bruce Willis in Sixth Sense when he woke up dead.
Sixth Sense, yeah. I
The
said
Sixth Sense.
I said Fifth Element. I was one off.
Mm-hmm.
Sixth.
What was the Fifth Element?
That was when he was in the future.
Oh, the Fifth Element was the one where he like
he's in the future.
Somebody killed an opera singer that bled green blood.
What?
Is that the Fifth Element?
Mm.
There was like some opera singer, they killed her, and then they took like something out of her.
Wasn't Fifth Element? No, the Fifth Element is when he's in the future. He's like he's in the future, and they've got all the like hovercraft stuff and a ton of.
And what's her bucket with the orange hair?
Yes,
was the Fifth Element.
Yeah. Who was that?
Yeah, the Fifth Element diva song. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about.
That is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen.
And then they shot her or something, and she had like a jewel inside of her or something like that. I forget. She died, by the way. Spoiler alert. So Asa turns out he's a pretty decent little basketball player. Who knew? This is second basketball season. And I asked him tonight on the way back from the basketball game, because he's pretty much 3 for 3 top scorer on their team.
He's what?
And 3 games out of 3 games, I think he's the top scorer every game
Okay.
on their team, and they've won all 3 games also. But he's on the B team because they have too many players for all of them to play A team. And their A team, I think, has lost every game. So the B team plays the same school as the A team. Our B team is generally winning 2 to 10 points over the B teams of the other school. And our A team is just getting smoked by all the schools by like 10 to 20 point differences. I asked him if he would rather be on the A team or B team, and he's like, starter on the B team for sure. Like, and like for his style of how he plays, I think maybe the B team is like the best setup because he is. I don't remember. Have you guys either of you play basketball
What?
Just for fun,
at
never
all?
for real.
Never for real. So, like, you know what a slasher is? Like what you would call a player who plays. It's like, so in basketball, in real basketball, you have like post players who typically receive their back is to the goal, they receive the ball, and their job is like either to pass it back out to the point guard or somebody like that, or to turn and shoot, right? But then like in street ball, you have a lot more like slashers, like a guy who's on the side and he's going to drive to the goal. Does that make sense? Versus like the
I
point
don't
guard
really
is
know
going to be
basketball
mainly
that
in the
well.
center on the top. And Asa's like the guy who's like on the side, receives the pass and like figures out a way to drive to the middle and do a layup.
What
And
about
that's
dunk?
pretty much how he gets either fast break or do what? Why not dunk?
Yeah.
He might actually be able to dunk someday. That's actually potentially possible.
Nice.
Maybe. When I was in high school, I could grab the rim, but I could never dunk a basketball. If he's 2 to 3 inches taller than me, he might actually be able to dunk. Maybe.
When I was in high school, I went to this youth event. This is my only basketball ever. I went to this youth event. It was like an all-night event.
Wait. You never even played basketball
What?
for fun besides this? You're telling us about your only playing basketball event ever?
Yeah, this is the only one ever.
For real?
I mean, I have gone out here to my little basketball goal in my
With your daughters.
driveway and shot baskets with my daughters. Yes. So,
Okay.
So when I was in high
I'm
school,
listening.
we went to this youth event and they had a 3-on-3 tournament. And 2 of my friends needed a third guy. And they were like, "You got to play with us." And I was like, "I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not a basketball player. I don't play sports. I played baseball. That's it. I wrestled." And they're like, "Come on, man. We need a third person. We just need a third person." I'm like, "All right, whatever. Sign us up." So, signed us up. We did not win, but we played pretty well. And I was taller than quite a few of the guys, and I was good at getting rebounds, except I got called for over the back a lot.
Because you probably didn't even know that was a thing.
What?
Until you got there. You may have not even known that was a
I did
thing
not
until
know
you
that because
got
I was
called.
better at getting the ball. That was a penalty. Just because I was like bigger and could jump higher than that guy. I didn't realize that you weren't allowed to do
Just
that.
assumed that was yeah.
So anyway, we play this tournament. We did fine. We made it like a ways into the tournament. We weren't eliminated right away. We made it a ways into the tournament. We didn't like make the finals. But all my friends were like, dude, why aren't you dunking? And I was like, I can't freaking dunk a basketball. And they said, when you're rebounding the ball, your elbows are up at the rim.
What?
And I'm like, nah. They're like, yes, you can jump really high. So apparently, when I was in high school, I could jump really high. And all my friends were like, why aren't you dunking the ball? I was like, because I can't dunk. They're like, you just don't know you can dunk. But
So you never even inspired you to go dunk a basketball?
What?
You didn't ever think maybe I should go try to
No.
dunk a basketball just to say that I have?
No.
What the frick, dude?
I've never dunked a basketball, but apparently at one point in my life, I could jump high enough, according to people who were
Didn't
watching
even
me
try
play.
it.
No.
So
We were out by then.
my theory is that to dunk a basketball, you have to be able to palm the ball and jump high enough that your wrist, at least your wrist, because like obviously like to really dunk a basketball, you need to be like here, and I could like get a hold of the rim, and that was about
Yeah.
it. And I don't think I actually knew how to jump or had ever, but I wanted to dunk a
And
basketball
holding
so
the
bad.
ball
I could like
and keeping control
I
of
could
it
palm a ball.
and reaching over the rim and not letting it
Okay.
out of your hands.
So here's another odd thing about my brain as a left-handed person. I can do a right-handed layup, but not really do a left-handed layup. Like I can shoot the ball with my left hand, but to do like a legit layup, I can only do it really well with my right hand.
Weird.
And for some reason, when I go to dunk, or as close as I can get to dunking, I have to do it with my right hand because I have to
feel like
jump
every
off of my
left-handed
left
person I know
leg.
has something like that where they do one thing
Weird
better
stuff
with,
like that,
yeah.
right? With the right hand that you wouldn't think like, but with archery and stuff, you're using your right arm for your aim and for balance, and like, I don't know. I couldn't dunk with my left hand. I would have to dunk with my right. That was the closest I could get.
I
I
can't dunk at
still
all.
cannot believe that somebody, you probably could though. And if you had just dunked a basketball once, if you had just had the sense, like, no offense, but that just tells me that you were kind of dumb, because if people are like, you can jump high enough to dunk, you should be like, someday I'll want to be able to say that I dunked a basketball.
I used to dunk the basketball all the time.
On a 10-foot rim?
No, it was one of those adjustable ones. We'd bring it down to like 7 feet. Dude,
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
hit that thing
Totally
every time.
Okay, I can dunk a
Totally
basketball
counts.
now.
Totally counts.
It's a
Yeah, that
dunk.
totally counts. Okay, I can dunk a basketball, and I have dunked a basketball.
Okay, since we're
Never
on
mind.
basketball and we're just talking about stuff, I played baseball with this kid who played. Our town had a league called Biddy Ball, and they played on an 8-foot rim. And so he was playing. He was playing, and he was kind of a smaller guy, but he could dunk on an 8-foot rim. And he was playing in a game, and he was amped up, and he went up. I think maybe it was a 2-hand just jam, and he got his face right in the net and
No.
ripped his 2 front teeth out.
Mm, 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 mm. Bummer.
Yeah, it was.
So here's my 8-foot rim story. It's not that good, and you would have to know this guy. Hey, Dan Asher, you're probably watching this podcast right now.
He probably is.
So he was the
Let
first
me
guy
tell
that I
you how
ever
many
worked
people are
for.
watching our podcast right now. Well, it's going to take me a minute because I got to get back to that screen.
You have to start
Oh, wait,
watching it
no.
to know that.
There's 0.
0. Okay.
That makes
So,
sense.
But Dan,
so Dan, I worked for Dan, and Dan Asher
What about now?
was really into basketball, sports, etc. And
still 0.
my
What?
brother
I'm
David
watching.
started working with us, and Dan really liked basketball, but Dan had his goal set at like 8 or 8.5 feet at his house. And Dan was pretty good at shooting 3-pointers on his 8-foot. We have a viewer. His name is Jimmy. So Dan's
Trying to
really
help the
good
algorithm.
at shooting 3-pointers on his 8.5-foot goal,
Oh,
or
no.
maybe 9, but it was low enough that mostly we could all dunk on it if we tried. So my older brother David, does not like to lose, and he does not like to lose even though it's just a game and you're at your boss's house. And like, my understanding of how things work is that if you get the feeling that your boss wants to win, you let him win. That's just, I don't know if you guys have that kind of sentiment about things,
Employee
but I'm
etiquette.
just like, I think it's employee etiquette, Dan Asher of Odessa, Missouri, that if you're the employee and your boss wants to win because he's competitive, that you let him win. Well, my brother David is not of that sentiment.
Really?
And
Your
he is
brother
of
David?
the sentiment. No. So David, he is here's his mentality. What are the rules and how do we use the rules to win?
Yeah.
Well, in pickup basketball, there are no free throws. So a foul means you get the ball back. And basically everything means you get the ball back. That's all there is getting the ball back in pickup basketball. So Dan starts shooting threes because we're dominating him and this other guy that's like my age inside. Like David is like, oh, okay, you fouled, you get the ball. I fouled you get the ball back. Like, I don't care. This is the rules. So I'm perfectly happy hacking you to death on the inside and you get the ball back. So they can't do anything inside because David's like kind of being a monster. So Dan starts shooting threes and he can just pound threes on an 8.5-foot goal. So David just starts goaltending on him. He just jumps up and catches the ball before it goes in the basket. Checks the ball back to him. And Dan's like, you can't do that. He's like, well, what happens if I do? And he's like, we get the ball back. And he's like, okay. And David proceeds to catch like the next 4 shots that Dan does from the outside because we can all dunk. Like it's at 8 foot. We're all Shaq, and all you do is you get the ball back. So Dan gets pissed and just goes up and just like mows over David and just dunks the ball with both hands and just cracks his shins of his arms, whatever this is, and like hurts himself bad. And he's like, oh, like, so he just goes up. David posts up. So Darcy and Jimmy. So if you don't know, if you're the defender and both of your feet are set, and the person who's on offense drives into you and takes that position, pushes your feet off of your set position, it's an offensive foul in basketball. So that's why they get called whenever they go dunk over a guy and he gets knocked over. If his feet were set, if his feet are in motion, then he doesn't have the position. Yeah. If his feet are set, you can't do anything to him.
Yeah, I was getting called for that too.
Yeah, so Dan just like dunks the ball and like fractures his wrist dunking the ball.
Dang.
And that is the end of the game. And we're up like 4 points or 2 points, two, because it's 1 point shots. And we're driving home and I'm just like, David, seriously, man, like, he's like, well, we were playing by the rules. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of glad that we won, but kind of that's not really how you win basketball. And Dan really wanted to win. He's like, I don't care. That's the rules. We followed the rules to the T and we won. And Dan hurt himself. Man. That's his fault. And I was just like,
we won. And Dan's going to the hospital.
And Dan is pissed. And we could have just let him win. Like, it don't matter. It don't matter at all.
It matters to some people.
It mattered to Dan and it mattered to David, and that was not a good combination. And I'm sure if we could get Dan on the podcast, he would tell it completely differently, because if you play basketball, that's not how you play basketball. You don't goaltend and hack people on the inside just because you can.
Yeah.
Because in a real game, 4 fouls and you're just out, or 5 fouls and you're just out. Like, so like there's some kind of unspoken rules about fouling people. And in a real game, I think a goaltend is it? I don't think it's points awarded, but I think it's free throws.
That makes sense.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't get called for that.
Anyway. Dude, if you were getting called for goaltending, then you definitely could have done
it. Oh, man. All right. Dude, I don't know if I've told either of you guys this. I was driving over to work last Friday. I think it was now.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
In real basketball, goaltending, the points are awarded.
For real?
Mm-hmm. So,
way to go, Darcy.
Dan could have.
So it's like pass interference.
Dan could have won. Yeah, Dan could have won if he had said points are awarded. Then he could have, like, but he didn't. He said you check the ball and we get the ball back. So, okay, go ahead. You still there?
Yeah.
What's your story, Darcy?
Oh, man. So last Friday, I was headed to work, and I was over on 435 on the west side, driving. I think I did tell you, Jimmy. Um, I was on 435 on the west side, driving down just past Parkville, and I saw this dude on the side of the road, and he was standing there, and he was standing on the shoulder, and he was holding like the strap for one of the two kayaks that was strapped to the roof of his car. Like his kayak had like done like that. And one of them was still sitting pretty good, and one of them was like sticking out in the front. The front strap had come loose, and I just like buzzed by him, and I got past him, and I thought, man, that's like my worst fear. Every time I put my kayak on top of my car, is that thing catching a gust and just shattering on the highway behind me. Like, I've told Anna multiple times, I'm like, if my kayak goes flying off the top of this car and just crashes in the road, I might cry. Like, like which it's different. Like, it's not a kayak I could go over to Academy and replace. I built it. So that's a big deal. But still, I think about it every time I haul that thing. So anyway, I buzz past this dude sitting on the side of the road with his kayak coming off the top of his car, and I get past him, and I'm like, man, I should have stopped. I've got tons of straps in the back of my truck. I should have stopped. So by the time I get to the next exit, I'm like, I'm going back. So I exit, get back on the highway, head back, and right when I get back to, he was just past an exit. So right when I get there, he pulls back onto the road and takes off. So now he's going south, I'm going north. So I'm like, all right, whatever, man. He got it figured out, and he's back on the road. Good deal. Take the exit, spin around, head back to work. So now I'm like, 2 miles behind him. And I get to my exit, and there is two kayaks and a roof rack sitting in the highway on the
No,
shoulder.
no.
And he is up a quarter mile, backing back down the shoulder, backing back to that exit. So I pull over. I hit my exit, but I just pull over right away and shut my truck down. And I walk back there. I get back to the kayaks before he gets there. And he backs back across the exit and backs back up to where the kayak and rack is sitting on the road. And dude, I guess maybe what happened is that kayak came loose again, and when it did that and caught air, it ripped the whole rack off of his roof.
Dang.
He had like these clamps that clamp onto the drip rails, and they were just exploded. There was one of them just laying out in traffic getting crushed, and then there was one still stuck on the top of the car, and there were two still attached to the racks that just got ripped off. But it put some massive gouges in the roof of that car and busted the little antenna. It was a Ford Escape, had the little like XM antenna sticking up off the back, just ripped that thing off and broke it.
Bummer.
So he comes back there, and I'm like, oh, man, dude, this is like my worst fear every time I put my kayak on top of my car. He's like, yeah, well, it's my worst fear right now. I'm like, yeah, I see that. And turns out he's like headed down. He's headed to pick up a buddy, and they're gonna go down to the Niangua and go on a fishing trip. And so I stand around there trying to just like talking through stuff like, what are you gonna do? Do you want to try to just strap the thing back down to the car, like instead of trying to use those drip rail clamps? Because he's like, man, this is what failed, I think, right here, which is true, but I think also it probably, when that kayak
Like the
went,
force.
yes,
Whoop.
it added so much force that it ripped it off. Anyway, so we stand around, and ultimately, which was the best idea, he's like, I think I'm going to just strap him to the car. Like, just forget the rack. Now, so, because it ripped like, I mean, it was just a mess. So, side note, he has trail cam like cable locks, locking his kayaks onto the rack, and he can't find the keys.
No, no.
Like, so he doesn't know what he
Why?
did with the keys. Turns out he had unlocked one of them and then thrown the cable lock with the keys still in it into the back, like floorboard of the back seat. So there was maybe 10 minutes of him looking for his car keys and not being able to figure out how he didn't have his car keys, which also had the keys to all the locks on the rack. So he figures that out, and he gets the kayaks unlocked from the rack. And dude, those little cars have nothing to strap to. I mean, there's just nothing there. There's no frame. Everything's plastic. Everything's got like air dams, like plastic covers. Everything is just plastic. So, and he is gonna roll down the back two windows and strap through the car. Like, that was his idea. And I'm like, what if you open the doors and strapped around the roof and then close the doors, and then you don't have your windows open and you don't have your doors strapped shut?
Right.
He's like, oh, that's probably a good idea. So we do that. We put the kayaks back up on top of the car, no roof rack, and strap them down in the middle, just around the roof of the car, and then end up strapping down like over the hood and over the back end, and find something to strap to. But so all this happens, and I'm like, well, where do you live? And he said, I live over at Staley area. I was like, okay. I said, well, man, I live up in Kearney, and I'm over here every week. And if you want, this is before we strapped him back to the roof. And he's starting to talk about, I think I'm just going to have to not use the roof rack. And I was like, man, if you want, I'll throw that rack in my truck and get your number, and I'll get it back to you when you get back into town next week after your trip. He's like, man, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. So we undo it, strap the kayaks down, and I'm like, all right, well, you want me to take that roof rack? And he's like, yeah, I'll get it from you. He's like, it's bent. I'll just get it from you when I get back, and I'll just throw it away. He's like, it's bent. I'm just gonna trash it. And I was like, well, I mean, I can throw it away for you if you don't want it. I was like, I got a dumpster.
I know this guy Ben
Huh?
who will take it.
What?
I know this guy Ben who will haul it off for you.
Yeah.
For scrap metal.
So he's like, oh man, that'd be great. Thanks, man. Let me get you my card. And he can't find his card. So he's like, I appreciate your help. Whatever. We don't exchange information. I wish him luck. Hope you have a better fishing trip than it started out being. And he takes off down the road. We throw the thing in the back of my truck. He takes off. I go, and I sent you a link. I sent you the link, didn't I, Dan, to the roof rack? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
So I looked the thing up. It's $1,000 roof rack, and it's not actually bent. The the bar that goes across from your like rail to rail,
Oh yeah, you
like
did. I didn't know
basically
why though.
the luggage rack. What? Oh, you didn't know why I sent it? Yeah. The
Uh-uh.
luggage rack part is bent, but the actual rack is not. And it's this cool rack that like you slide it out and then it comes down. So you can load your kayaks at like, yeah,
You have this?
yes, I have two of them. Because he had two of them, one on each side. They're $500 a piece.
Because dude, here's what I was thinking when I saw it. I'll tell you what I
Okay.
thought. I was like, man, that so I built out of wood when I had a metal brake for working, like a 12-foot brake for bending metal. I built a wood rack to fold that down off of the side of the
Hmm.
trailer. And I was like, hey, that actually would have worked for that. And then I was like, sheesh, that's why I didn't buy one.
Yeah.
But I didn't know why you were sending it
So
to me,
anyway,
other than
now
thinking that it
I
had
have
something
that.
to do with that.
Yeah, I have two of those racks that are like this cool slide out elevator kayak rack. And you can also get, and I may
Okay,
do it,
so
you can get a bike attachment for that thing. I might get the bike attachment and just put one of those on Anna's car so that she can haul the girls' bikes around with her car if she wants to, instead of always
or
have.
you could mount it on your shell of your
I could.
truck
I could
too,
put
couldn't
one on
you?
my truck so that I can throw my kayak on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, but you're saying that they attach just on those little lips that keep the water from going down over your door gaskets?
So
They just
no,
clamp onto those little metal lips
it was even
or
worse than
not?
that. So like if you I'm trying to think, Jimmy, your Explorer doesn't have the luggage rack, does it?
It has the side rails, but it doesn't have the crossbars.
Yeah. So it's like that. And they clamp onto those side rails, but there is not much. Like the edge that it can grip, it's like it's less than a pencil lead
Dang.
of of you know thing to grip onto. So that's what that dude had his steel clamped onto. It's not the actual like old school drip rail. It's that rail up top that you can get a luggage rack that integrates into that, but he didn't have it.
Hmm. It didn't work either.
No, it let him down.
Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah.
That'd be fun if you could use it somehow.
I think I will. Either that, I initially I texted Dave Hudson and asked him if he was interested in one of them, but I think that I sent him the link to the website too, so he probably looked at it and was like, "Oh, $500? Nah, I definitely am not interested in that."
He may not be
But
interested
I,
Yeah.
in doing anything outdoors ever again.
oh heck yeah, he is. He's got him a new kayak and he's already been out now.
Oh, that's good.
But that was my thought. It's like I'd give him one if it would
Yeah.
help him with loading up his boat and stuff.
I bet it would.
Mostly he puts it in the back of his pickup truck.
Oh.
How's he doing, Dave?
But I haven't actually talked to him since, so I may still try to give him one if he'd want to put it on top of his car.
I saw him at church Sunday and he seemed to be doing pretty all right. Like I think he's
He's
healing
doing
up pretty
so
good
much better.
and I think he's mostly thankful he's not paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm
this doesn't
thankful
have
he's
a
not
lot to
paralyzed.
do with. So, okay, this doesn't have a lot to do with the rail system that you're talking about, but it got me thinking about something totally unrelated for next week.
Okay.
Um, what are you hunting with, Jimmy?
What
Weapon wise?
what weapon?
Me?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
the that 300 blackout that I built.
And you, Darcy? 450 Bushmaster?
357. No, I don't have a stock for the Bushmaster yet.
Dude, you
If I
need
can
to
get my
kill something
44,
with that 357.
if I can get
I
my
need a
44
what?
mag sighted in, I'd take that.
You need to
What do you
kill
say?
something with it.
With what?
Like, not just shoot something with it. With the 357.
Dude,
It's like,
I've 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 shot at least 4 deer with it. Killed at least 4.
no.
Yes.
You shot them with your dad's 344 mag, didn't you?
No.
Or 357?
I had that 44 hanging in the tree, but I shot it with shot him with the 357. I didn't shoot that 44 during season.
Oh, I thought you were talking about with your lever gun 357.
Oh, the 357 lever. I do need to shoot. I do
Yeah.
need to kill a deer with that.
You need to kill something with that.
That's a good idea. I should.
Does it have a Picatinny rail
Does it what?
of any kind? Does it have a pick rail of any kind?
It does not. You can get it. I should see. Eric has one.
Can you get like an M lock to stick on it? Because they have phone mounts. They have phone mounts for Picatinny rails. So here's my point. Jimmy, do you have space to mount your phone onto your pick rail of your AR 300 blackout?
I believe
Or
so.
is your scope or whatever taken up? Because like on
No.
Amazon, they have Picatinny rail mounts for your phone. So you could have your phone sitting on your gun
To
videoing while you're shooting.
Send me the links.
Yeah. I'll send you the link.
I need to look. Henry has the rail for my rifle. Eric has one on his, but I have never bought it. But I'm sure it's like $25.
Sounds like
I'm
somebody's
getting
peeing.
into videoing, even though I haven't been
I am.
successful yet. I'm getting into videoing hunting just because I want to put up YouTube videos of hunting. And
Yeah,
so
dude,
what
that'd
I'm
be cool.
trying to figure out is, can I get everybody on the hunt to video something and then give me the footage and I'll put it on my YouTube video.
I have the mount.
Does that make sense?
I have a
I think that would work
mount
with my
that
gun.
you can put GoPro on. Jimmy, your foregrip is real similar to mine, right?
I think so.
Basically just round.
Yeah.
But you could, so if you look at that thing that I sent, you could mount your phone off to the side of your sight,
right,
on the very
also
back
think-
or the very front of the rail that's just on top of your receiver. If you
Oh,
needed
I
to.
see it.
I'm pretty sure
It's super. It only takes one linkage,
that round part has
and then you could
holes
zoom 10x
on the bottom and the sides that you can screw rails into.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you could always just screw
That's
one
right.
on there for that mount.
In fact, I'm looking at it thinking maybe I will order that specific one because it's only
$22.
Yeah.
Oops.
So they've got one that is for a GoPro.
It's for TikTok
Yep.
vlogging. Says right there on it.
Side. What's this one?
So the phone one, you could put a GoPro on it too. It has the same
Yes.
style,
I'd say the phone one is the most
versatile.
versatile.
Okay, I
The
just
phone
added
one
it
is the
to the
most
cart.
versatile one.
Um,
And I'm gonna add one to the cart too. So just don't, because we're on the same cart, I think. Just order one for you, and then I'll order one. Wait. Did we each add one? Yeah, we did.
probably.
Because I would
Trying
like
your
to get
shared
footage
Amazon
from
account.
everybody for the YouTube channel. Because I would like to have footage of the hunt. And that's one of the things, like holding a camera and they have cool scope mount deals now, but I don't think the scope view is like that much better than just a camera view, because you can do 10x.
Oh, they've got a side mount too.
Camera view. Yeah, so they have a number of different ones depending on what you want to do. One thing that I don't like is I have a GoPro mount for my stabilizer for my bow, and when you shoot, it goes, and so like you don't actually, it shakes the GoPro so much that you don't actually see what's going on. But with a gun, when you shoot, you typically stay on target. Where with a bow, the bow kind of falls out of target, so you don't get to see any follow up with a bow. But I think with a gun, you could actually like then start looking in the camera, and you could actually watch what's going on, and it wouldn't really change your a mount on your Picatinny rail with your phone wouldn't really change your activities after the first shot.
I wonder if one of the so I have a bunch of obviously I can't go just grab my rifle and look at this because we'll get kicked off YouTube. But I have a pile of rails right here because I've bought a bunch of different spilling screws. I've bought a bunch of different.
Hey Darcy, do I owe you any money, or you owe me any money right now for anything?
Do I owe you money?
Or vice versa?
I don't know. I bought you some broadheads, but
Oh, you did?
yeah.
I shot 3 of those cheapos, and they seem like they shoot all right.
The Amazon ones?
Mm-hmm. Like within margin of error, the 3 that I shot were
I gotta
okay.
go get my rifle. I just won't put it on the screen.
I don't know if you can say rifle on YouTube.
Can you say it? You don't.
I
You
don't
don't.
know.
Not live.
Probably not.
What if I open my safe and show? I think it's just you can't be holding it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like Crowder, he's got a pistol sitting on his desk 100% of the time.
Right.
I think it's brandishing. You can't brandish. Yeah. It's these dudes. They just like pounce out of the. As soon as I walked in here, they both just bounded out of their little.
The cats?
Bed.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, I don't think he's with us anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Fun to have
Stand
a
there.
phone on the gun like that.
Well, I ordered one of those mounts, Darcy, for me.
I think Darcy's gone.
Um, oh, I was gonna put another one back in the cart for him if he wanted one in the cart. Add to cart. There we go. I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I've been trying to video my archery hunts, but since I've been unsuccessful every time, I don't see any reason to put them up.
Those are the ones that might
But
get
you
the
have to
views,
have
though.
the footage. Maybe. If I'm successful, I'll put them all up as like hunts that I did before being successful,
There you go.
I suppose. Oh, Jimmy, I was going to ask you this. Okay, with your mowing, did you mow down the back of the dam to get down into that part at all?
Yes.
Or where all did you guys mow?
Yeah, so we
You did?
mowed most of the way down there. There's a tree that has fallen down, maybe I don't know, 100 feet from that creek. So we stopped
Okay.
at the tree. Darcy wasn't there to cut the trees.
Did you mow up the creek at all, or just to a spot?
Little, yes.
You did mow up the creek? Because I
To the
was
north.
thinking about what I was really thinking about. I have two ladder stands in the back of my truck. What I was kind of thinking about was putting one where I used to have a stand. If you go from the corner of the 40 that was sold and you come down to the east from there and you start to go back to the back, I used to have a stand hanging in a tree right in that area where the trail starts to go up toward those cedars. And kind of what I was thinking about was putting a ladder stand in there for me or Judah, and then putting one on the other side of the creek overlooking the creek to where you could just walk down the dam, find a spot up there to where you could see into the creek, maybe see a crossing if there is a crossing, and just have like two they'd only be like 300 yards away from each other or 400 yards away from each other. And maybe Judah and I just hunt in separate stands 200 or 300 yards apart. Will that work with what you've mowed generally?
I mean, yeah. You may not have like fully accessible
May not
spaces,
be right on the trail.
But yeah.
But we could get to them. We could hike down the trail that you've mowed on the dam side of the creek and find something. And then
it's a little thick.
The only issue would be that
on the east or the west side of the creek, it's pretty thick over there until you get up to the top of the hill. But yeah.
Did you mow you mowed a path back there though? Like to the very back or not?
Yeah.
Where's Jeremy's setup at? I know he put a newer ladder stand last year on the other side of the creek where I usually hunt, past the cut, right?
Yes.
Did he put one there this time, or is he not hunting there?
Well, it's still there. That one he never took it down. So it's
he left it. Okay.
Yeah. That one is there. His original one is there, and then he put another one up on Saturday that is south on right. If you go, let's see here, south of the power lines on the east property line, there's a stand like just on the neighbor's property. He put one right next to
You used to have a stand there that you had to get a ladder up.
I didn't.
Is it close to where you used to have to climb a ladder up?
No, that's a different area.
Okay, say that again. South?
I'm sorry, on the west property line. South of the power line, west property line, there's a stand that looks into that field on the
Okay.
west that's not in Lou's property. Jeremy put a stand like right next to that stand, facing Lou's property.
The stand that I've hunted out of,
Closer to the power line, though.
Yeah, closer to the power. Well, yeah, kind of halfway back.
So it's not close to Darcy's that's all the way at the back,
No,
or it is.
it is not.
Did you mow that far back to that one?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So for somebody, there's a stand all the way at the south. Jeremy has 3 kind of like
Is that
south of the
south
power
stand
cut.
still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Asa hunted out of it last year.
Oh, okay.
that's the one you have to take the seat
then
for, right?
Oh,
you have to
yeah.
carry the seat out. And I don't
Yep.
remember, did we take new straps for it last year? It probably needs new straps unless we
Yeah, I
took
don't
them
know.
out last year. And I
I
don't
haven't
remember
been
if we
back
did.
there for a while, in a long time.
I shot a decent I shot my first good buck out of that stand back at the very back. Well, I mean, like I say, the first good one. I shot that guy out of that very, very back stand. And I shot that guy out of the right before you enter that cedar tree stand. That one was super tough to get the shot because the deer were traveling straight behind me. So I was hoping to find a spot in there for a ladder stand that was a little easier to maneuver around. But on
there's
that trail.
Is that stand is still down there on the CRP land too, down in the cove?
Down in the
Right.
bottom, yeah.
In that corner, yeah, in that.
Where are
bottom.
you gonna hunt, Darcy?
But so we hunted with a blind right on the CRP, and then after hunting it like 3 times and not seeing crap, we went and hiked the edge of the CRP on the east, and there's all that rubbish just pushed into the woods on the east line,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's almost impossible to walk through there, let alone for deer to walk through there.
I don't know where I'm gonna go.
Dude, you should go. I think like if I think about ideal hunting, I don't think you've ever hunted out of your stand that's on the very south of the property. And for an evening hunt, I think that is like the best. I love that spot.
The
You can see for
southwest
miles.
corner.
The very southwest corner is a great
that's
stand,
a great spot.
I think you should go there. You've never gone there. I've gone there 3 times, probably 3 or 4 times.
Darcy's hunted there.
I've only shot one.
There.
Have you hunted there?
I think the first year that we put that stand up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only kind of bummer about that stand is how far away from it is Jeremy's stand that he just put up? Are they on like opposite corners of that 40? Or is it closer down to it?
I would say Jeremy's stand is about halfway back in that back 40. On the property line. Like on the property line.
There
on
used
the
to
west
be
line?
a ladder stand on
west
property
line.
Other side. There used to be a ladder stand on the west side of that property line that you wondered if it was on Lou's or on the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is it close to that?
Yeah, that's the one. It's right next to that
Close to that spot?
Yep.
So that's literally only over the hill from that other stand.
Right. Yeah, it would be just over that hill. Yep.
Like if you're at that stand, you kind of walk down a little bit and then you just go And once you crest the hill, then you're looking at the same group of deer
Right.
that would be hiking through that area.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it's so weird how deer, like 100 yards is nothing. Like you can be looking at a whole different herd of deer. But
Are you gonna have your boys out there
that south
this weekend?
stand, just one. Asa doesn't want to go. He shot a deer on the youth season, and so his buck tag is used up. Ooh, I was trying to move my cursor up there, but you guys can't see my cursor.
No. Here, I'll move my cursor. Can you see mine?
You should be able to
Yeah.
see mine.
I see yours.
I can see
Okay,
Darcy's.
so are you saying, Jimmy, that Jeremy just put a stand somewhere in here,
No, way south of there.
way south?
Yeah. Keep going south.
So this corner?
Oh no, whoa, no, go north. Right there. What?
Okay.
No, back down.
Back north
No, south.
or south?
South. Right in there. Stop.
Okay.
Okay. So that one that says Dan stand just northeast of there
That one?
is not there anymore.
Okay.
Jeremy shamed me into not putting it there.
Because of this one?
Yeah. That one that's in the tree that my stand used to be in. Yeah.
There you go.
So you can remove
I
that
still
one.
think we need
But
to
I do
get
want to put one.
a permanent stand here,
Mm-hmm.
because that is where I just have generally taken that climber. That's a pretty good spot. A lot of deer move through that. I also still think
If
that
you're on the east side of that tree line, yes.
over here, way over on the east,
Yeah, on the east side. What does it say? Almost died stand. Is that near the kind of old pond that's in the woods?
yes,
There's like an old pond where the deer kind of go kick around
yes,
in. Yeah.
yep, that's it.
I think another good spot is just north of the barn. Up.
Just north of the barn,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
on that other little pond, that
Yeah.
tiny little pond there.
Dude, the deer are always rolling through there.
Yeah, they do.
So where you have a double stand, there is no stand there anymore.
Right.
But I want to put one of the ladder stands where you can see that area from the east side of the creek.
Mhm.
That's one of the stands that I have in my truck. I want to put that ladder stand up. And
So
then
where
cow
it
stand
says,
about a
yeah, the cow stand, I mowed. So there's a pretty good sized ravine that runs east and west right through there. And just
Mhm.
south of that ravine, I mowed some pretty good trails down in there.
So just to the so like if you went 200 yards east and 100 yards south of cow stand, I bet that's where I used to have my
Yeah.
hanging stand, but the straps were getting torn off, and so I took it down last year. I want to put a ladder stand in that vicinity if we can find a tree to put a ladder stand against,
Yeah,
because I
there's
have
some
2 ladder
spots over
stands in the
there, and
back of
I
my
mowed
truck
over
to
there,
put
so you
up.
should be able to get in there pretty easy.
Because I really think about anything that goes past that corner is either moving up toward double stand marker or moving back towards those cedars. And so I'd like to have the 2 ladder stands put in that vicinity and then, you know,
Now,
the two of
guys,
us will probably hunt the majority of the time in that spot.
now the whole world knows all of our hunting stuff.
Yep.
Oh, dude, the whole world.
They're watching.
Yeah. Everybody watching us has seen that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear something, dude? It's after midnight, guys.
Yeah, it's
I got to
time
get
for
up at
bed.
Dude,
5 to
oh
take
yeah,
kids
it
to
is.
school.
Did you get your report turned in?
Oh, I didn't. I'm gonna have to do that. Dang it.
Tell them you were in a different. You were
I want
in
to
the
tell you guys
west,
something.
the Western time zone, and you didn't realize.
So, do you guys know who Mike Posner is?
Mm-mm.
Who?
He's a singer.
Posner?
Mike Posner. He's a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
Singer
him?
slash rapper. And he's had like 2 careers. Like he had a hit and then he went like totally dark and then he had another hit. And one of his hits was like this song where he's like, I took a pill in Ibiza. You remember that song? It's kind of like a dance song. Okay. He's a multimillionaire because of a couple of songs, really, realistically. And he had been touring based off of the popularity of one song for 2 years. And his representation or whatever was like, this is gonna be your hit single. And he's like, this song's 2 years old. Everybody's heard it. And his rep was like, Mike, nobody's heard it. Like, you've been touring for 2 years and nobody's heard this song. And then they got it on the radio and like a bunch of people heard it, and you'd probably recognize it if you.
You're talking about Cooler Than Me?
It just like Cooler Than Me. Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah.
As I'm listening to it, I'm thinking like that is how things are. Like Mr. Beast has hundreds of millions of followers. I know who Mr. Beast is. You know how many Mr. Beast videos I've watched in my life? 0. Nobody has heard of you. Nobody cares. Just keep doing what you're doing.
So you're saying there's a chance for me? Or are you saying that I'm probably more famous than I know?
There's probably a little bit of truth to everything. You're probably more famous than you know, and nobody knows about you, and you're nobody knows about Mr. Beast. Have you ever watched a Mr. Beast video?
Mm-mm.
Yes. Plenty.
You have?
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way through?
No, never
Why?
watched them all the way through. Because they're
Oh,
all
you haven't?
stupid.
And yet he's the top YouTuber.
Yeah, because of people that are
and like 1% of the
years
people
old watching them.
Yeah.
1% of the people in the world have heard of him or have watched a video. I mean, I've heard of him, but I've never watched a video. It doesn't interest me at all. My kids have watched him. So
that's what it is. It's that 13, 14, 15-year-old boys think he is awesome.
Do you know what his name is?
Judah, I mean, Asa for a while.
No.
Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy.
Did you say Jimmy Neutron?
He did say Neutron. It's not Neutron, but
Yeah.
it is Jimmy.
I think that's a cartoon character.
When I was down in the islands, we went fishing, and the captain of the boat said that Jimmy, Mr. Beast, rented an island down there and then flew a bunch of people in, and then
Donaldson. Jimmy Donaldson.
gave them money based on how long they stayed on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what his
It's all
videos
just these silly. Yeah, they're all stuff like that. But there's people who have like pretty successful. Like, would you consider if you started a YouTube, if we started getting $100,000 a year off of it and splitting the $100,000 a year 3 ways, would you consider that to be pretty successful?
I don't know how much money you said, but I know you're talking about money, so yes.
I mean, okay.
I didn't
Okay.
catch the amount, but
So,
if it was
Jimmy,
more than 0,
nothing. Okay, Jimmy. Okay. I'm spacing. Angela has a YouTube channel that she posts like what, 20 videos a year or two?
I have
You
no
think it's
idea.
more than that? I don't have any idea. Have you ever watched one of them?
Yes.
Are they like awesome, interesting?
No, they're brutal.
I mean, you know her.
They're
It's
only
brutal to watch
interesting
it.
to people that enjoy quilting.
Who are into quilting, right? It's successful in its own right, just as a YouTube channel, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
think
even
so.
without the rest of the business, it's
Yeah.
successful. Like, success is like weird that way. You think like everybody knows who you are, and like a bunch of people don't know who ran against Donald Trump for president. Like, it's hard to imagine, but there's a bunch of people who don't know who just ran against Donald Trump for president.
Or who the Donald Trump's vice president is.
Or who Donald Trump's vice president is. Here's the takeaway that I have. You guys, you can, since it's midnight, you can go a different direction with this. I say go for it, because the most successful you could be, no one's still going to know about you. And if you could be successful and quote unquote nobody knows about you anyway, you might as well do it.
Yep.
I think we spend way too much time thinking that it matters what people think, when really, like, it would be a huge compliment for somebody to hate you at this point.
Right.
Like, to hate what we're doing here. Like, wouldn't that be like the greatest compliment for somebody to like start hating on us for what we're doing here?
Yes, I would love
Like,
that.
because that would mean somebody watched it.
Someone knew what was going on.
Yeah. That would mean somebody actually watched it.
Yep, that sounds perfect. Are you guys still doing your shorts and whatnot?
I have not in a while.
I have a bunch of footage from hunting that I have not gotten posted yet, because nothing interesting has happened. Most of hunting is just sitting in the woods with nothing happening. So,
Right.
I'm hoping that after all of it, I have like a worthy 30-minute video.
Think about if Darcy would have been recording when he fell out of the stand, how many hits that sucker would have got.
Dude.
Yeah. Maybe we should recreate that this year.
We could.
Awesome.
We could.
Dude.
Let's use green screens though.
I'm not joking. I had to set up these buddy stands alone. They are making the rails on these things so flimsy that you almost can't climb them to get them tied onto the tree, because they just bow in so hard because they're so chintzy. They require that you have the stabilizer.
Yeah.
But if you have the stabilizer,
I knew about that.
Then you get to the top and it's
you
like
learned about that?
The top is flopping around.
Yeah.
So nuts. I took 2 of them down today, and I thought that I could have died because I thought if it doesn't fall away from the tree, it's going to collapse. Like, just, it's nuts how chintzy they are.
Mhm.
All right, I do need to write my report late, and I don't think anybody's watching to see if it's late. So, all right, we've wasted enough
All
of
right.
these good people's time.
All right. Well, I guess
We got to keep
we'll.
them wanting more, so we better get off of here.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
This has been another installment of the Not Your Average Guys show.
Peace.
Come back next week for more of the same.
Maybe we'll have
More
some
of the same.
successful.
Or
hunt
if you
stories.
join, comment and we'll bring you on.
There you go.
For real, we will, because we're desperate.
Why not?
All right.
Okay, after you hang up, but before you leave, I need to ask you guys something. And
Okay.
that's
Later.
what people will come back next week to find out. Okay.
Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.